Everyone, this is for class 8. We are continuing with the chapter the cell structure and function. In the last part, we have seen the basic difference between prokaryotic and eukaryotic cell. Let's see how a prokaryotic cell looks like first. This is a prokaryotic cell which consists of a cell wall, outer protective layer, then inside the cell wall, plasma membrane or cell membrane is present. Then the dense fluid is present in which ribosomes and nuclear material floats, right? So if we look here, so this DNA, so usually DNA is present inside the nucleus for a eukaryotic cell. But as we are saying that in a prokaryotic cell, true nucleus is absent, so the DNA is directly exposed into the cytoplasm, right? This is a flagellum which helps these organisms to float and to move in the water or in some other liquid, right? Then ribosomes are present. Remember one thing always. We say that in prokaryotic cells, membrane-bound organelles are absent. We will be studying all the membrane-bound organelles afterwards, but always remember that ribosomes and cell wall are not membrane-bound organelles. So what are the different membrane-bound organelles? The different membrane-bound organelles are, membrane-bound means which has membrane on it, right? So the membrane-bound organelles are mitochondria, plastids, Golgi apparatus, endoplasmic reticulum, lysosomes. All these are membrane bound organelles. So we have not labeled all these membrane bound organelles for a prokaryotic cell because they are absent in prokaryotic cell. So we have just labeled ribosome and cell wall over here. Why? Because ribosome and cell wall are not membrane bound organelles. I hope it is becoming clear to you. Now let's see the eukaryotic cells. Now see, this is a plant cell and this is a animal cell, right? So here also cell wall is present in plant cell, but cell wall is absent in animal cell. Then inside the cell wall, what is present? The plasma membrane or cell membrane is present, whereas in animal cell directly this outer boundary is nothing but the plasma membrane. Then one more different, then ribosomes. See these dots, these granules which you can see black colored, these are nothing but ribosomes. Those were present in prokaryotic cells also. Here also in animal cell these ribosomes are present. Then here we can just make a difference. See, this is a nucleus for plant cell and this is a nucleus for animal cell. So for a plant cell, well-defined nucleus is present. Well-defined means nucleus has a well-defined boundary. Here also nucleus has a well-defined boundary, whereas in prokaryotic cell it was not present. Nuclear membrane was not present. Whatever is usually present inside the nucleus, it is directly exposed into the cytoplasm in prokaryotic cell. Whereas here, because of the presence of boundary, all the nuclear material is protected inside the nuclear membrane. Okay, so this is the basic difference. One more thing, for eukaryotic cells, see, we can see many different membrane bound organelles over here. Like, see over here, what is this? This is endoplasmic reticulum, mitochondria, then these are plastids, then Golgi apparatus, then lysosomes. So all these are present. Here also such membrane bound organelles are present, which we will be studying in detail later. Okay, so this is the basic difference between prokaryotic and eukaryotic cell. Now let's actually start the structure of a cell. Okay, let's study the structure of cell. Now, cells have various shapes, sizes, functions, but basic structure remains same. In the previous parts, we have seen different shapes, like spindle shape is there, then cuboidal shape is there, then polygonal shape is there, then disc shape is there, then elongated and knobbed shaped like nerve cells, right? So oval shape is there. So these are the different shapes of cell. And also we have talked about the sizes of cell, like the smallest one, which is mycoplasma, and the largest cell is egg of ostrich. That also we have seen. Now in eukaryotic cells, we have also seen that there are different types of cells present, right? So, and these different cells perform different functions also. But even though they vary in shape, sizes and function, but the basic structure of any cell remains the same. Now, what is that basic structure? Let's see that. It consists of three main parts. First is the cell membrane, which is also called as plasma membrane. Now please be focused now, because all these terms are very new to you. Okay, so the three main parts of cell are, first is cell membrane or plasma membrane, cytoplasm and nucleus. Now let's try to understand these parts one by one in detail. So let's take the first part, which is cell membrane or plasma membrane. Now, how does a cell membrane or plasma membrane look like, and what are its characteristics? So, it is extremely thin. It is very thin, transparent, elastic, regenerative. मतलब कोई रप्चर हो जाता है या डैमेज हो जाती है तो खुद ही खुद को जनरेट नए से कर सकती है. सो दैट इज रिजनरेटिव एंड सिलेक्टिवली परमिएबल मेम्ब्रेन है ये. a very thin elastic regenerative membrane. Now these terms we can understand very easily, but what about this selectively permeable membrane? What is the meaning? Now what is permeability? Permeability means it when any membrane which is porous, right? So this plasma membrane is porous in nature. Porous means it has a lot of minute pores on it. Now why these pores are present? So that it can allow the movement of solid and liquid particles as well as gas particles in and out of the cell, right? So that solid, liquid or gas particles can move in and out of the cell. So that is why the plasma membrane is porous, right? Now depending upon the size of the pores, right? Because depending upon the size of the pores, only some solid particles can move inside or outside the cell. Not all solid particles can move in and out of the cell, but all the liquid or water molecules or water particles can move inside and outside the cell. So that is the meaning of selectively permeable membrane. Let me explain it to you in detail again. Okay, so this is any cell and this membrane is nothing but our plasma membrane. Now if I select this much portion of plasma membrane and just zoom it, it will look like this. It means that it looks porous. See, you can see the pores over here, right, through which particles can move in and out of the cell, right? So if I zoom it more, so it will look like this. This is a membrane which has pores in it. Now, the meaning of selectively permeable is, see, here these are very small particles, then bigger than that these are the particles, and the biggest particles are these particles. So what happens, see, through these pores, these very small particles and these particles can move through these pores, right? But these bigger particles, these are also solid particles and these are also solid particles. These very small particles are suppose solvent or liquid particles. So liquid particles can move in and out of the cell very easily, like water particles or water molecules. But what about the solid particles? Not all solid particles can cross this plasma membrane. Only few only selected solid particles can move in and out of the cell. Not all solid particles can move in and out. These bigger particles won't be able to cross this membrane because of the size of these pores. So selectively permeable means it allows all liquid molecules to move in and out of the cell, but it allows only specific solid particles or solute particles to cross the membrane. So that is the meaning of selectively permeable membrane. Okay, so I hope now it is very much clear to you how a plasma membrane looks like. Right? Then we have seen it is porous also, it is selectively permeable also. Now let's see what are the different functions of plasma membrane. So can you guess what can be the different functions of plasma membrane? First is it acts as a mechanical barrier that protects. So this membrane, it protects the inner contents of the cell, but obviously then it provides a definite shape to the cell. It is providing a shape, particular shape to the cell, like polygonal shape, cuboidal shape, then disc shape, then oval shape, all those shapes. Then it protects the cell from injury. It also protects, as it has got a elastic regenerative membrane, so it protects the cell from injury. Even though the cell gets injured, it can regenerate itself. Also, sometimes it happens that the membrane gets stretched, right? So as it has got proper elasticity, so it will not get injured or it will not be broken down. Okay, then it allows movement of particles in and out of the cell. This we have already seen, right? That is permeability. Then it provides defense against microbes. Now, defense against microbes means if some microbes like viruses or bacteria try to invade the cell, try to penetrate inside the cell, try to attack the cell, then in that case this plasma membrane will protect the cell. So it provides defense against microbes also. So if I ask you whether the plasma membrane is present in prokaryotic as well as eukaryotic cell, your answer should be yes, it is present in both prokaryotic and eukaryotic cell. Okay, so this is all about the cell membrane or plasma membrane. Now let's talk about the other part, which is called as cell wall. Now this cell wall we have seen in prokaryotic cell, like in bacteria cell, which I have shown you before we start this video. That prokaryotic cell consists of cell wall, as well as plant cells consist of cell wall. Cell wall is absent in animal cells. So it is the outermost rigid, protective and supportive covering found in all the plant cells. So how is the cell wall? Cell wall is very much rigid and protective and supportive. It gives support to the cell, right? It protects the cell and it is very much tough. It is not like plasma membrane which is elastic. It is not at all elastic. And this cell wall is present in all the plant cells. Then in bacteria also, which is a prokaryotic cell, and cyanobacteria, which is blue-green algae, which is also a prokaryotic cell. Then it is absent in animal cell. Animal cells do not consist of cell wall. Then it is permeable. Now, what is the meaning of permeable? Permeable means it allows both liquid as well as solid particles to move in and out of the cell, whereas plasma membrane was selectively permeable membrane. Cell wall is permeable membrane. Permeable means it allows liquid as well as solid. Liquid means water particles as well as some solute particles or solid particles. All solute particles and all liquid particles to move in and out of the cell. Then what is the material it is made up of? It is made up of cellulose. Cell wall is made up of cellulose. So what is the cellulose? Cellulose is nothing but a complex fibrous carbohydrate which cannot be digested by human beings. So cellulose is nothing but it is a complex fibrous. It is fibrous, right? Fibers, carbohydrate. It is a form of carbohydrate only, right? And this cellulose, our digestive system cannot digest cellulose, right? Then what is the function of this cell wall? The cell wall provides protection to inner contents from mechanical injuries and entry of germs. Obviously, as it is very much rigid in nature, it provides protection to the inner contents of cell, and also from mechanical injuries also, and also from the attack of pathogens or microbes, right? Very easy to understand. Then it provides protection against temperature variations, high wind speed and atmospheric pressure. And now, as we say that this cell wall is present in plant cells, how are the plants? They are exposed to the extreme temperature, cold, heat, then wind, all these things, right? Then rain also. Then because of the presence of this cell wall, the plants, the inner contents or the other cells, the body of the plant is protected against temperature variations, because in summers it is extremely hot, then in winter it may be less than 0 degrees Celsius also in some countries, right? So this cell wall is actually providing protection against temperature variations. Sometimes there is fast blowing wind also, so from wind also it gives protection, and atmospheric, too much of rain. Otherwise, what if there is no cell wall? What will happen? Because of extreme, just imagine, because of extreme rain, the inner cells of the plant body may get damaged, right? So it is providing protection against rains, extreme rains, temperature and wind. Then it maintains shape of the cell, right? Because of its rigidity, it is maintaining the cell can maintain its proper shape, right? So these are the different functions of cell wall. Now, the cell wall in plants contains cellulose, which acts as roughage, that is nothing but fiber in our diet, right? You must be knowing that while taking our food, we take a lot of salads or raw fruits or raw vegetables in our diet, like salads, cucumber is there, beetroot, right? So these are rich in fiber, right? Now, what is that fiber? That fiber is nothing but fiber of cellulose, right? And this cellulose cannot be digested by our body. We cannot digest that cellulose, right? Then, however, it helps in adding bulk to the food, right? It increases the quantity of food which we are eating. And how does it help us? Now the question arises that if we cannot digest the cellulose or the fiber, what is the use of eating that? The use is roughage helps in proper bowel movement, right? It helps in digestion. You know what is the importance of taking roughage in our diet? It helps in proper bowel movement. Therefore, plant foods are preferred over animal food. See, animal food, that is animal cells does not have a cell wall on it, right? It means there is no question of cellulose, right? No question of fiber, right? So it becomes tough to digest. Whereas this cellulose, what is this cellulose doing actually? This fiber is doing, it is adding roughage, right? Roughage in our food. And we know that roughage helps in proper digestion also and in proper bowel movement, so that we won't have any constipation problems. That is why plant foods are always preferred over animal food. So that's all for now. Thank you.